Another important part of your grade on this research paper is that in your own writing, you begin to clearly use rhetorical strategies yourself. We've spent a lot of our time learning how to read things and analyze how the writer writes, the tools and tricks the writer use. We've talked about some of those strategies directly all the time. When you were reading Outliers, you were looking for strategic things that Malcolm Gladwell did. You should be very familiar with rhetoric and very familiar with rhetorical strategies at this point in the year. Now's your chance to show it. Not only are you writing a research paper where you're appealing to logos and things like that, but I want to see some specific strategies being used as well in your writing. Most of you already know how to do this and could probably do this fairly easily. If you're struggling a little bit or you want to get a little more in depth with it, I recommend you go to our class website. Once you get to our class website, you can actually click here on lesson videos at the bottom and pull up most of our lesson videos. This doesn't have all of our lesson videos, but it has many of them. I would suggest you click over to our rhetorical terms videos. A great thing to do is, if you're struggling with how do you use rhetorical strategies, is to look through some of these videos. We have some popular strategies that we've discussed in this class. Some are good and some are logical fallacies. You obviously want to avoid logical fallacies, and you want to use the effective strategies. Not only do we have short lesson videos explaining these strategies that you can open and look at, but we also have examples. We have examples of the strategies that you guys created earlier in the year. You wrote your own paragraphs using these, so you can look at some of your classmates' examples of these very strategies. Some great things to use in a research paper would be strategies like absolutes and anecdotes and antithesis. Colloquialism might not be appropriate in this type of writing to the audience that you're writing to, which is an academic audience. Of course, you'll be using connotation and tone. You might look at contingency. You would want to avoid double bind. You could definitely use force teaming. You could definitely use pacing and rapport. And some of these other strategies as well. Shifts, you might even be able to use some hyperbole and certainly some rhetorical questions. These videos are on YouTube, but if they're blocked and you're at school, you should also be able to find them in our templates folder, which you should know how to get to. I would recommend actually going out and writing a draft of your essay first without thinking too much about rhetorical strategies. Get your quotes in there, write around the quotes, get the content right. And once you've gotten everything you want to say down, I would start reading back through my essay and figuring out, where can I be more strategic? Where can I use some more strategic writing, some rhetorical strategies? Can I put a rhetorical question that would be appropriate? I find that this is the most effective way that students incorporate rhetorical strategies into their writing. So write out all your ideas first, get everything down on paper, make sure it connects, and then go back through and try to put those strategies in that are going to make your writing go from good to great. So review those strategies and examples if you need to, and go back through your writing and look carefully for places where you can add these strategies to have the greatest impact on your audience. Good luck.